Have you ever asked yourself, why am I not happy even when everything seems fine? Do you feel like you're chasing happiness every day, but never really catching it? And why does joy fade so quickly, even after something good happens? Think about this. Someone gets a new phone and feels excited for a while. But just a few days later, they want a better one, or they feel bored again. That small burst of joy is gone. Isn't this how life keeps going? Chasing moments that don't last, hoping the next one will finally make us happy? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore deep truths through simple stories, guided by the timeless teachings of the Buddha. If you're tired of short-term happiness and want to discover the path to lasting peace and joy, then stay with us till the end of this series. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It helps us a lot and keeps us bringing more of this wisdom to you. In Buddhism, happiness is not found in things, but in how we look at things. The Buddha taught that lasting joy doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. He showed that we suffer not because of life itself, but because of how we cling to it, how we expect it to always feel good. True happiness begins when we stop trying to control every part of life. It starts when we learn to sit quietly with ourselves without needing anything to feel complete. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." That one line holds so much power. Imagine this. Instead of waking up every day chasing something to make you feel better, you wake up already feeling calm, light, and enough. That's possible. Not through magic, but through small, clear steps. And that's what this series will gently guide you toward. So, let's begin this journey, one breath at a time, one insight at a time. Stay close. The real joy you've been looking for might just be found in the silence between your thoughts. The illusion of external joy. Sit with me now. Just breathe slowly. Let the world rest for a while. There's something I want to tell you. Not from books, not from noise, but from silence and stillness. You chase happiness, don't you? You look for it in your phone, in money, in praise, in people's eyes. And for a moment, just a flicker, you feel it. You smile. You feel warm. But then it's gone. Again. And then you search again. This is the cycle. This is the illusion. The joy you're chasing outside you is not real. It is not solid. It slips through your fingers like sand, like water, like wind. You know this is true. You've seen it. You felt it. You think, if I get this, I will be happy. You get it. But then your mind asks, what's next? And so you go again. A new job, a better phone, a bigger home, more followers, more likes, more approval. But can the sky be filled? Can a cup without a bottom ever be full? The Buddha saw this long ago. He called it tanha, craving, a thirst that never ends. The more we drink from the outside, the more we dry out on the inside. Let me give you a little story. A man once came to the Buddha. He said, "I want happiness." The Buddha smiled gently and said, "First, remove that's ego. Then remove want, that's desire. What remains is happiness." Do you see it now? Joy is not something to collect. It's something that appears when ego and craving are not there. You think people will make you happy, but people are not stable. Sometimes they love you. Sometimes they don't. They are like the wind, blowing warm today, cold tomorrow. You think success will make you happy, but success is just a shadow. It moves when the light moves. One day you shine. One day you are forgotten. You think pleasures will make you happy, but every pleasure has a price. It fades. It asks for more, and more, and more. And still, your heart stays hungry. My dear one, this is not your fault. The world teaches us to seek outside. Advertisements tell you what you lack. Social media shows you what you're missing. They keep saying, you need this to be happy. But look deeper. Has it worked? Now take a breath. Feel this moment. Nothing added. Nothing removed. Just you sitting, breathing. There's a tiny space here. In that space, if you stop chasing, you can begin to feel joy. Real joy. Still joy. Gentle joy, like a soft breeze through bamboo leaves. It doesn't scream, it doesn't boast, but is there, and it stays. In Buddhism, happiness is not loud. It's not big. It's not wild. It is like a quiet pond, clear, calm, still. But when you drink from it, you are refreshed in your soul. The problem is not that we want happiness. The problem is that we look for it in places it cannot stay. That is the illusion. The Buddha never said you cannot enjoy the world. No, you can. You can taste, touch, laugh, dance. But you must not depend on it. You must not believe it is the source of your peace. Think of a rainbow. It is beautiful. It makes your eyes smile. But you cannot hold it. And if you try, you'll fall into sadness. So learn this. Enjoy but don't cling. Touch but don't grip. Smile but don't expect the moment to last forever. A wise person walks through the world like a gentle breeze, touching life but not tangled in it. Let me show you one more example. Imagine a child playing with a bubble. She blows it, watches it float, laughs with joy, and when it pops, she doesn't cry. She blows another. That is how the enlightened live. They don't get stuck. They don't say, "Why did it pop?" They know. It's in the nature of bubbles to burst. It's in the nature of things to change. So they smile and move on. Can you do that? Can you see through the illusion? If you can even understand this, just a little, your whole life will begin to change. You will stop running so fast. You will stop holding things so tightly. You will begin to feel peace in places you never looked before. A monk once said, I gave up trying to find joy. And in that space, joy found me. You don't need more. You don't need something new. You need less. You need space. Let your heart rest. Let your expectations fall. Let this moment be enough. Right now. That's all. That's joy. That's truth. Now sit with this. Feel it. Not with your mind, but with your breath. In the next part, we will look even deeper into the roots of this craving, into the causes of this restless heart. But for now, just be still. Remember, joy is not somewhere far. It is already here, waiting, behind your thoughts, beneath your fears, beyond the illusion. Breathe in, smile gently. You are enough. Craving, the root of restlessness. So you've come again. You sit down, want to understand how to stay happy, truly happy. Good. Let me share something with you, like a story whispered by the wind. Do you know why you're not able to rest inside? Why your heart feels tired, even when your body is still? It is because of one very old habit, craving. Craving is like a tiny fire in the chest. It starts small, almost sweet, like wanting a warm bowl of food or someone to smile at you. But then, slowly it becomes something else. The moment you get what you want, the mind wants more. It says, this is nice, but what's next? And so, happiness becomes a moving target. The Buddha called this fire ta, which means thirst, desire, craving. He said there are three kinds: craving for pleasure, craving for existence, and craving for non-existence. But you don't need to remember the words. Just feel what happens when you want something badly. The mind becomes tight, the body feels restless, the breath becomes shallow. A child wants a toy. He cries and rolls on the floor. Finally, he gets the toy. For a moment, he's happy. Then he sees another child's toy, bigger, shinier, and suddenly his toy is no longer good enough. This, my dear listener, is how adults live too. Just with different toys, money, fame, relationships, likes on social media. It's the same chase, and the same emptiness after catching. Let me tell you a story. A young man once came to the Buddha. He said, "Master, I have everything, wealth, a family, even health, but my heart is never still. I feel like something is missing." The Buddha smiled and asked, "Do you think happiness lies in getting everything you want?" The man nodded. The Buddha then pointed to the river and said, "Jump in and try to hold all the water." The man laughed and said, "That's impossible." The Buddha said, "Exactly. So is your way of happiness. Chasing happiness through craving is like trying to carry the whole river in your hands. No matter how fast you run, it will slip through your fingers." Now listen closely. The problem is not wanting something. The problem is when wanting becomes your master. When your peace depends on getting it. That's when craving turns into suffering. There is a deep teaching here. Craving always says something is missing. Something more is needed. But the truth is, you are already whole. You just forgot. That forgetting is the real pain. So how do we deal with this craving? We don't fight it. We don't hate it. We simply see it. That's the first step. Just watch what your mind wants today. It may say, I want better clothes. I want more praise. I want to escape this moment. Don't act on it. Just watch. Be like the sky watching the clouds. The Buddha didn't say craving was evil. He just said it causes suffering. You're not bad because you crave. You are just human. But if you want to be free, you must become aware. You might be wondering, if I let go of craving, won't I stop caring? Won't I lose all passion? No, you'll still act, still create, still move. But without burning inside. Like a bird flying because it enjoys the wind, not because it needs to escape the tree. Real happiness is quiet. It doesn't scream. It sits with you when you have nothing. It smiles even when plans fail, because it no longer depends on what comes or goes. Let me offer you a small practice, very simple. Each time you feel a strong desire today, pause. Ask yourself, will this really make me happy? Wait. Don't rush. Let the craving pass like a wave. Then see, maybe you still want it. Maybe not. But now, you are not a slave to it. The more you do this, the more freedom you will feel. It's not about denying life. It's about not being controlled by it. A monk once told me, I gave up a palace to sit under a tree, and I found more joy there than in all the riches of my past life. Why? Because under the tree, he wasn't chasing anymore. To stay happy, you don't need to get more. You need to drop the belief that more will fix the ache inside. Craving creates a deep restlessness, and restlessness hides the natural peace of your mind. If you can sit still with your wanting, without feeding it, something amazing happens. It dies down, and in its place, a gentle stillness arises. That stillness is more precious than gold. That is true happiness. Even when things are hard, even when life feels unfair, craving makes it worse. Because it says, this should not be like this. I want something else. That resistance is suffering. What if, just for today, you could accept this moment as it is, not with sadness, but with softness? What if you trusted that you don't need more to be enough? You might cry, you might laugh, but inside, there will be a deep sense of yes, a quiet okayness. That's the gift of not craving. I'm not asking you to become a monk or leave your world. I'm just inviting you to pause before chasing, to breathe before grasping. Even one breath of awareness, one breath without craving, is a step toward freedom. So, as you move through your day, walk slowly. Watch your desires rise like waves. Don't jump on them. Let them pass. The ocean of your heart is deep. Don't let the surface ripples make you forget its calm bottom. You don't need everything. You just need to wake up to what's already here. Now go. Seat. Watch the wanting. And smile gently. The secret of happiness is not in getting, it's in seeing. We'll speak again soon. Until then, stay kind, stay aware, and stay simple. Contentment is a superpower. Come, sit with me under the tree. Just breathe. No need to rush. No need to prove anything. Just sit and listen, not only with your ears but with your heart. Let me tell you something very simple. A person who is content is the richest person in the world. Not because they own a lot, but because they need very little. Do you know why many people are unhappy, even when they have money, a big house, and a name that others respect? It's because they don't know how to be satisfied. They always want more. And then, even when they get more, their mind quickly forgets to be thankful. It moves to the next thing. It's like trying to fill a pot that has a hole in the bottom. No matter how much water you pour, it keeps leaking. The pot never fills. That's how the mind is when there is no contentment. But a content heart, that is different. A content heart is full even with a little rice and clean water. A content heart sees beauty in a single flower, in a quiet morning, in a smile from a stranger. It doesn't beg life to give more. It simply receives what is already there. The Buddha knew this well. He left behind a palace, golden walls, soft beds, and servants who obeyed every command. But even in all that comfort, he saw that the mind kept wanting more. He saw the suffering of always wanting, never resting. So he chose a different way. He sat under a tree, ate what people gave him, slept where the sky became his roof. And in that simple life, he found something greater than gold. He found peace. Do you want peace too? Then you must understand this. Happiness is not in more. It isn't enough. The problem is not your house, your phone, or your salary. The problem is when your mind whispers, this is not enough. I need more. That whisper is what steals your peace. That whisper is the thief. You don't need to fight the thief. Just recognize it. When you feel restless, when you feel jealous, when you feel like what you have is not good enough, just pause. Breathe. Watch the thought come. And then gently smile and say, I see you, but I choose peace. Now, let me share a small story. Once there was a poor farmer. His house was old, his clothes torn, but he worked hard and smiled easily. One day, a rich man visited him and said, How do you smile so much when you have so little? The farmer looked up and said, Because I have everything I need. My stomach is full. My children are safe. The sun rises each morning. What else is missing? The rich man went home that night and couldn't sleep. His bed was soft, but his mind was loud. He realized he had everything except contentment. My dear friend, listen carefully. Contentment doesn't come from the world outside. It is planted in your heart, and it grows when you water it with gratitude. Start with something small. Today, take a moment and say thank you, not for something big, but for something ordinary. Thank you for the breath in your body. Thank you for the roof over your head. Thank you for the person who smiled at you today. This is the beginning of real wealth. You don't need to give up your job, your home, or your dreams. But you do need to give up the idea that happiness is hiding in the next thing, the next place, the next person. Be here now. Look at your hands. They have done so much. They have held, built, cleaned, cared. Look at your feet. They carry you each day. Look at your eyes. They see the sunrise, the trees, the face of your mother. This is not nothing. This is life. And in life, there are moments, small, soft moments. They're shining like gold, but we miss them because we're looking far ahead. Don't miss them anymore. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you rest, just rest. These are not empty moments. These are sacred. Some people will hear this and say, but if I become content, won't I lose ambition? Won't I stop trying? No, contentment is not laziness. It is clarity. It means you move forward without burning your soul. It means you work hard, but you don't suffer in your heart. The Buddha never said stop living. He said live wisely. He said don't let desire make you blind. Let peace guide your steps. You can still build your life, love people, travel, learn, but do it with a heart that knows joy doesn't come from what you chase, but from what you already hold. Let me give you one more image. Imagine your heart is a garden. If you only plant seeds of desire, more, then the weeds of stress and disappointment will grow fast. But if you plant seeds of contentment, water them with awareness, protect them with kindness, you will see flowers blooming inside. These flowers are simple, but they are fragrant with peace. So what should you do today? Stop for a few minutes. Look around. See what is already good. Feel what is already enough. Smile, not because everything is perfect, but because you're learning to love what is real. That smile, that's your superpower. And when contentment grows inside, you won't have to look for happiness anymore, because happiness will find you. How mindfulness shapes joy. Dear one, sit down. Be still. The world is rushing, always rushing. But you, right now, don't need to run. Let's pause. Let's breathe. Let me tell you something very old, but very alive, something that could change your whole experience of life. Have you ever truly noticed your breath? Not controlled it, not judged it, just noticed it. In, out, soft, natural, like a gentle wave touching the shore. That's mindfulness. And that, my dear one, is the doorway to joy. Many think joy is found in big things, a new job, a vacation, falling in love, buying something expensive. But I will tell you a secret. The deepest joy hides in the smallest moments. The problem is, we miss them. Not because they are not there, but because we are not there. You see, most people are not really living. They are remembering the past or worrying about the future. They eat without tasting, walk without feeling, talk without listening. They're asleep with their eyes open. But when you're mindful, even drinking a cup of tea becomes a joy. You feel the warmth of the cup. You smell the aroma. You taste the first drop, and suddenly, something so small feels beautiful, peaceful, real. This is the practice of mindfulness, not a trick, not a technique, but a way of being fully here. The Buddha taught this over and over again. He said, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. That means, don't let your mind wander like a monkey from one branch to another. If you're brushing your teeth, just brush. Feel the bristles. Taste the paste. Hear the water. That is meditation. Not just sitting with closed eyes, but living every moment with awareness. Some ask, how can mindfulness bring happiness? I answer, because suffering only lives in the mind that's distracted. When you are mindful, you're not lost in what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. You're not tangled in fears or regrets. You are here, and here, right now, is the only place life truly exists. Mindfulness is like a gentle hand that brings you back home. Home is not a house. Home is this moment, the only real moment. And when you return to it fully, you find something magical. There's nothing missing. Right now, in this breath, you are whole. Let me give you a small story. A young monk once asked his teacher, "Master, what is enlightenment?" The teacher smiled and said, "When I eat, I eat. When I sleep, I sleep." The young monk looked confused. "But Master, isn't that what everyone does?" The teacher laughed. "No, my child. When people eat, their minds are full of thoughts. When they sleep, they're dreaming of worries. But when I eat, I am with my food. While I sleep, I rest deeply. That is the difference." So, the lesson is simple but not easy. Be here. Over and over again, come back. To your breath, to your body, to this moment. Mindfulness doesn't mean you stop doing things. You still live your life. You go to work. You care for your family. You clean the house. But you do it with presence. You wash the dishes and know you're washing the dishes. That is where peace grows. And joy. Joy follows peace like a shadow. When you are not lost in the storm of your thoughts, you notice the sunlight, the breeze, the bird on the window, the quiet beauty of ordinary life. Do you see now? Joy is not far away. It's just hidden under the noise in your head. Here's another small thing you can try. It's called the 3 breaths practice. Anytime during the day, just stop and take 3 slow breaths. That's it. No effort. No struggle. Just feel the breath come in and go out. You might be surprised how that tiny moment changes everything. You don't need to become a monk. You don't need a mountain or a temple. Your life is the temple. Your next breath is the path. Every time you are mindful, you water the seeds of joy inside you. These seeds grow quietly, like a flower in early spring. You won't even notice at first. But one day, someone will ask you, "Why do you seem so calm, so happy?" And you'll smile, because you'll know the answer. You came back to yourself. Now, some people will say, "But I forget. I try to be mindful, but I forget." That's okay. Everyone forgets. Even old monks forget. But the beauty of mindfulness is this. The moment you remember, you are already practicing again. So don't be hard on yourself. Just keep coming back. Let your life become a meditation. Let the act of brushing your hair, tying your shoes, opening a window, all become sacred. Not because they are special, but because you are there. This world is noisy. Life is fast, but the secret is to slow down inside. And that's what mindfulness gives you. A calm heart in a rushing world. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not just a practice. It is a way of seeing clearly. When you are mindful, you start to see things as they are, not as your fear paints them or your past distorts them, but as they truly are. And with clarity comes understanding. With understanding comes compassion. And with compassion comes a deep, gentle joy. So start today, not tomorrow. Right now, take a slow breath. Feel your body. Listen to the sound around you. Watch your thoughts pass by like clouds. And smile. You have just touched peace. This is how mindfulness shapes joy. Not by adding anything to you, but by removing the fog that hides your natural light. You don't need to become someone else. You only need to become fully you, here and now. Walk slowly, eat slowly, breathe deeply, speak gently, live mindfully, because happiness is not a place to reach, It is the path itself, and you're already on it. Just take one mindful step at a time, letting go to lighten up. Sit with me for a moment. Take a breath, and now let it go. You see, that breath you just took in, did you cling to it? Did you try to keep it inside forever? No, you breathe it out, naturally, without resistance. And yet, isn't it strange how, in life, we try to hold on to everything else? People, praise, memories, mistakes, regrets, plans, even pain. We try to lock it all in our minds and hearts, thinking if we hold on tighter, we will feel safe, important, or happy. But happiness is not found in holding on. It is born in letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring or become cold. Letting go means making space in your heart. Imagine holding a heavy stone in each hand all day. Can you write? Can you eat? Can you rest well? No. You're always occupied, always burdened. When you let go of those stones, your hands become free. Life becomes lighter, and so does the heart. Many people suffer not because of what is happening now, but because they keep holding on to what is already past. An old argument, a lost opportunity, a word they wish they hadn't said. But the past is like a drawing in the sand, washed away by waves. And yet, we return to the shore, trying to redraw the same image again and again. Why? Let it wash away. Let the sea carry it. Let yourself be new in this moment. The Buddha understood this deeply. He taught that attachment, clinging, is the root of suffering. There's a story of a wise monk who had nothing but an old bowl. One day, a wealthy man asked him, "How can you be happy with so little?" The monk replied, "I am grateful for this bowl. It carries my food and water. It reminds me to be content with what I have." The man was amazed. He learned that gratitude is not about having much, but about loving what you have. Practicing gratitude also deepens your connection with others. When you appreciate the kindness of people, you nurture compassion. Compassion and gratitude walk hand in hand, like two trees growing side by side. When you feel thankful, you're more ready to give and to forgive. You see others not as obstacles, but as teachers and companions. The Buddha said, "Hatred never ceases by hatred, but by love alone is healed." Gratitude is the root of this love. It softens the heart and dissolves anger. When your mind is grateful, peace arises naturally. The storms of the mind calm down, and happiness find a place to rest. Sometimes it is hard to feel grateful. Life brings suffering, loss, pain, disappointment. But even in these times, gratitude can be a small flame in the darkness. You might be grateful for the strength to endure, for the lessons learned, or for the moments of kindness that appear like stars in the night sky. Try this simple practice each night before sleep. Recall 3 things you were grateful for during the day. They could be as simple as a warm meal, a kind word, or a moment of silence. Let your heart rest on these memories. Over time, you will find your mind shifting, your outlook brightening. Gratitude is a practice, not a feeling that comes and goes. It grows like a seed, requiring daily care. Sometimes you must water it with patience, pull weeds of doubt, and give it sunlight through mindful awareness. But with time, gratitude becomes a part of who you are. When you live with gratitude, happiness is not a distant dream, but a present reality. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering is attachment, but the root of joy is appreciation. By choosing gratitude, you loosen the grip of craving and open your heart to the beauty of life. Remember, the wise do not cling to possessions, praise, or pleasures. They find joy in the present moment, in the breath, in the simple things that often go unnoticed. Gratitude is the door that opens to this joy. So, let gratitude be your companion on the path. Let it soften your heart and brighten your days. Like the sun that gently melts the morning mist, gratitude dissolves the fog of discontent. It reveals the light that has always been there, the light of a peaceful, happy mind. Walk this path with patience and kindness toward yourself. Celebrate every small step. When you stumble, remind yourself that gratitude is waiting quietly, ready to lift you again. In this moment, you can start anew. Take a deep breath and feel the gift of life. Feel gratitude filling your chest, spreading warmth through your body. This is your true nature, a heart open to the wonders of existence. Let the practice of gratitude lead you to a life filled with joy that no one can take away. This is the path of the wise. This is the path to happiness. There's a great beauty in simplicity. When a mind is cluttered, happiness feels far away. But when life is simple, joy can be found in the smallest things. Imagine a clear lake, calm and still. When the surface is quiet, the water reflects the sky perfectly. But when the wind blows and waves rise, the reflection becomes blurry and lost. So too with our minds. When life is simple and calm, happiness shines clearly. Many people believe happiness comes from having more money, more things, more status. But this is like trying to fill a bucket with holes. No matter how much water you pour, it will never stay full. The Buddha taught us that craving more only brings suffering. To be truly happy, we must learn to be content with less. Simple living is not about poverty or giving up what you need. It is about removing the extra weight that burdens the heart and mind. When you carry fewer things, both physical and mental, you walk more lightly in the world. This lightness opens space for peace and happiness to grow naturally. Look at the monk who owns only a few robes and a bowl. He walks with calmness and freedom because he does not carry heavy attachments. His happiness is not tied to possessions, but to his peaceful heart. We too can find freedom by simplifying our desires in our life. It is easy to get lost in the noise of modern life, busy schedules, endless notifications, constant demands. These distractions pull us away from the present moment. When we rush and gather too many things, we miss the gentle happiness that is always available to us right now. A simple life invites us to slow down and notice the small miracles around us. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the song of a bird, the taste of fresh food. These moments are free and pure gifts. When we learn to appreciate these simple pleasures, joy fills our days naturally. The Buddha showed us that happiness is found not in complexity, but in clarity. When we clear away the clutter of desires and distractions, the true nature of our mind shines bright like the sun behind clouds. This clarity brings joy that no storm can shake. Sometimes, people fear simplicity. They think life will become boring or empty. But emptiness in Buddhism is not a lack. It is space for new growth. Like a garden cleared of weeds, simple living creates room for happiness, peace, and kindness to bloom. Let go of the need to impress others or chase after the latest trends. True happiness is quiet and steady, not loud or flashy. When you live simply, you become like a calm river flowing gently, strong yet peaceful. Ask yourself, what do I really need? What brings me joy without adding weight to my heart? Often, the answer is simple. A kind smile, a deep breath, a moment of stillness. These small things are treasures hidden in plain sight. When your home is filled with only what you truly need, your mind becomes free. You stop worrying about losing things or keeping up appearances. Freedom grows from this lightness, and happiness grows with it. The practice of simple living is also a practice of mindfulness. It asks us to notice what we bring into our lives and what we let go. This choice is powerful. With each decision to simplify, we create space for peace and joy. You may wonder, how do I begin? Start small. Clean a drawer, put away things you don't use, turn off your phone for a while. Notice how this makes your mind feel. Slowly, this practice will stretch to other parts of your life, your schedule, your thoughts, your relationships. As you live simply, you may find your true self emerging beneath the layers of busyness and noise. This self is not made of things or achievements. It is the calm, peaceful essence that has always been there. Remember, happiness is not a destination at the end of a long road. It is a way of traveling lightly through life. Simple living teaches us to carry only what we need and to appreciate every step along the way. The Buddha once said, "Contentment is the greatest wealth." When you learn to be content with simplicity, no one can take your happiness away. It becomes your steady companion, quiet and strong. In this simple way of living, kindness naturally grows. When we are not overwhelmed by desires and distractions, we have more room in our hearts for others. Helping others, sharing what we have, and giving love become easy and joyful acts. So, do not fear simplicity. Welcome it as a friend who brings peace to your mind and joy to your heart. Let go of what weighs you down and open your life to the gentle happiness that waits quietly in the present moment. Simple living is not about having less. It is about loving more. Loving yourself, loving others, and loving the world just as it is. This love is the true source of happiness, deeper than any possession or achievement. The path of simplicity is the path of freedom. Walk it gently, one step at a time. In the stillness of simple living, you will find a joy that lasts through all seasons of life. The danger of expectation. Sit with me for a while, dear one. Breathe. Let the world slow down. Let's speak of something that quietly steals your happiness every day. Expectation. You see, expectation is like holding tightly to a flower and wondering why its petals fall off. It's not the flower's fault. It's your grip. In life, we expect so much. We expect people to understand us. We expect life to go according to our plans. We expect success to come easily and love to always feel perfect. But when these things don't happen, what do we feel? Disappointment, sadness, anger, confusion. The root of much of our suffering is not what happens, but what we expected to happen. A student once came to me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Master, I did everything right. I studied hard, worked honestly, treated people kindly. But still I failed." I asked him, "Did you expect life to follow your rules?" He was silent. Then I told him, "You planted a seed of mango, but expected apples. That's not how nature works. Expectation is a hidden thief. It dresses itself as hope. But hope is light and free. It flows like a river. Expectation, however, is rigid. It wants things a certain way. And when they don't go that way, we suffer. The Buddha taught that attachment is the cause of suffering. But attachment doesn't always come in loud ways. Sometimes it's soft. It comes as a quiet expectation. They should say thank you. He should remember my birthday. She should never hurt me. I should have been more successful by now. All these shoulds and musts build a tight net around your heart. And when reality doesn't match them, it tears you. Now, listen carefully. Expectation is not the same as intention. You can have an intention to do your best, to love fully, to work hard. But when you tie your happiness to the outcome, you're building a house on sand. The wind of reality can shake at any time. Do you remember the sky? The sky has no expectation of the clouds. They come and go. The sky doesn't cry when they leave, nor does it dance when they come. The sky simply allows. Be like the sky. Let life move as it does without gripping it. Let me tell you a story. A woman once came to the Buddha. She had lost her son and was weeping in pain. She asked the Buddha to bring her child back. He said, "Bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never known death, and I will do it." She went from door to door, but every home had known loss. Slowly, she understood. Suffering comes when we expect the world to be different than what it is. Her heart softened. She bowed in silence and began her path of peace. When you expect others to treat you the way you treat them, you forget they are not you. When you expect your work to always bring reward, you forget that effort and result are not always tied. When you expect life to be smooth, you forget that waves are part of the ocean. You may ask, should I expect nothing at all? No, dear one, just be aware. Expectation is not wrong, but clinging to it is. Be like a bird. It builds its nest, knowing the wind may take it. Still, it sings in the morning. Still it flies. A Zen student once waited for enlightenment. Every day he asked, "When will I be awakened?" The master smiled and said, "When you stop expecting it." The student was confused. One day, he swept the floor, fully present, expecting nothing. In that moment of pure being, the gate opened inside him. He understood. Life becomes peaceful when you begin to live without demanding. When you offer your love, your time, your work, without tying it to how others respond, you are free. When you take action without needing a result, you are calm. That is the teaching of detachment, and it leads to happiness that stays. You've noticed, haven't you? The more expectations you have, the more tired you feel. That's because carrying too many hopes for how things should be creates weight on your mind. But when you simply do your part, let go, and allow life to unfold, there's a lightness, a freedom, a smile that rises without reason. So how do you release expectation? Start small. When you offer a gift, don't expect praise. When you speak kindly, do it from the heart, not for a reply. When you work hard, feel proud of your effort, not just the outcome. Slowly, this becomes a way of life. A life where joy is not tied to what comes back to you, but in the peace of your own actions. Let the flower bloom as it wishes. Water it, care for it, but do not demand how many petals it must have. That is the path of the wise. When people disappoint you, breathe and remember, they are human, just like you. When plans fall apart, bow to the lesson hidden inside. When success doesn't come, smile at your effort and keep walking. These are not losses. They are freedom from the prison of expectation. True happiness is not loud. It's not something that dances with drama. It's quiet. It's born in the moments where you stop forcing life to obey you and start flowing with what is. Sit a little longer. Breathe again. Ask yourself gently, what expectations are you holding on to? Which ones are making you tired? Can you loosen your grip just a little? That's where your joy begins. As a Zen Master, I offer you this. Stop chasing the world to match your dreams. Start shaping your heart to accept the world as it is. That is not giving up, it is waking up. And when you wake up, you'll find that happiness was not something outside, waiting to be found. It was already inside you, waiting to be uncovered. Now go. Walk gently. Expect less. Appreciate more. And see how peace follows your every step. The art of accepting what is. Child, sit with me. You've come far on this path. You've listened well, and now we come to a turning point. Accepting what is. This lesson is not easy, but it is simple. The truth always is. Let me ask you something. Have you ever argued with the rain? When it falls, does shouting at the sky stop it? And yet, how often do we shout inside our hearts when life doesn't go our way? We want things to happen in a certain way. We want people to treat us kindly. We want our plans to work. But when they don't, that is when suffering walks in. Not because the world is wrong, but because we resist what is happening. One of the first things the Buddha taught was that suffering exists. He called it dukkha, but he also taught that the cause of suffering is our attachment, our unwillingness to let go, our desire for things to be different from how they are. Now listen carefully. Acceptance is not weakness. It does not mean giving up. It means opening your eyes fully and seeing the truth as it is, not as you wish it to be. It is a kind of strength that few people understand. A leaf falls from the tree. It does not fight. The river flows even around rocks. The sun sets every evening without complaint. Nature accepts what is, and so it remains peaceful. Can you learn to be like that? When something unpleasant happens, the mind quickly says, this shouldn't be. That thought, that tight resistance is what creates tension. Acceptance means saying, this is what's happening right now. Let me respond with awareness. This does not mean you stay in harmful situations. No, wisdom and acceptance walk together. If the fire is burning your hand, you move it. But you do not scream at the fire for being hot. You understand its nature and act wisely. Think of a person stuck in traffic. One honks, curses, and sweats in anger. Another sits quietly, breathing, maybe listening to a song. Same situation, but one fights it. The other accepts it. Who is more peaceful? Acceptance turns chaos into calm. It's the doorway to freedom. Because once you stop fighting what cannot be changed, your energy returns to you. And with that energy, you can create, adjust, grow. A Zen student once asked his master, what is the way to peace? The master replied, when hungry, eat. When tired, sleep. The student was confused. But don't we already do that? The master smiled. No, when others eat, they worry. When they sleep, they regret. That is not peace. You see, even the smallest things in life can be transformed with acceptance. You eat slowly, tasting each bite. You walk without rushing, feeling the ground under your feet. You speak with awareness, not to win, but to connect. Sometimes life gives you pain, sometimes joy. Acceptance means you don't cling to either. You let them pass like clouds in the sky. You don't hold on to the sun. You don't push away the rain. You let both visit you, and you bow to each. When you resist life, you become like a clenched fist, tired closed. When you accept life, you become like an open palm, ready, relaxed, soft. This softness is not weakness. It's the greatest power. The Buddha accepted his own suffering under the Bodhi tree. He sat with it calmly. He did not run away. He did not blame. He watched. He breathed. He saw clearly. And from that deep acceptance, wisdom rose like the morning sun. My child, if you want to be truly happy, stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Life is always speaking. Are you willing to listen? Practice this in small ways. When you lose your keys, breathe. When someone is rude, breathe. When plans fall apart, breathe. Say to yourself, "This too is part of my path." Slowly, your mind will stop panicking. Slowly, peace will return. Do not confuse acceptance with being passive. You still act, but your action is free from inner war. Like a tree that bends in the wind but does not break, you move with the flow, not against it. There's a beauty in the imperfect, in the unexpected. A cracked teacup still holds tea. A crooked smile can warm a heart. Stop waiting for perfect moments. Instead, see the perfection in this moment. Yes, even in its mess. Even grief can be met with acceptance. The Buddha lost many loved ones. He wept, but he did not drown in sorrow. He let the tears fall like rain and let the sun return in time. You can too. Sadness does not mean failure. It is simply part of the human path. Look around you now. Everything that is here. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Just now. Can you open your arms to now? Can you say yes to this moment, just as it is? When you begin to live like this, you'll find something magical. You'll feel lighter. The storms will still come, but they won't shake you as they did before. You'll walk through life with grace, not because life got easier, but because you stopped fighting it. So child, remember this. Acceptance is not giving up on life, it is giving up the struggle against life. And in that surrender, true happiness is born. Keep practicing. Keep breathing. Keep watching the world without judgment. Everything you need is already here. When you stop demanding more, you begin to see the gift. This is the art of accepting what is. And it is the heart of peace. Compassion, the inner spring of happiness. Sit gently, breathe softly, and listen closely, dear one. Today we do not talk about money, fame, or success. We speak of something far more powerful. Something you already carry inside you. Something that, if you unlock it, will open the door to real, lasting happiness. That key is compassion. Many people think compassion is just being kind to others. But that's only the surface. Compassion is not weakness. It is strength, gentle, quiet strength. The kind that sees pain in others and does not turn away. The kind that sees pain in yourself and still offers warmth instead of judgment. The Buddha taught, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Let us begin there, with self-compassion. So often, people are harsh to themselves. I failed again. I'm not good enough. Why can't I be better? You punish yourself inside your mind more than anyone else ever could. But pause now. Would you speak like that to a dear friend who is suffering? No. You'd say, it's okay. I'm here. You're doing your best. So why not speak to yourself with that same love? Compassion is not a soft blanket to hide under. It is a lantern that helps us walk through dark paths without fear. It gives us the courage to face our pain and the heart to help others carry theirs. Now, let us understand a secret. When you truly care for others, not for reward, not for show, but from your heart, your own suffering begins to fade. This is the great paradox. The more we try to be happy just for ourselves, the more unhappy we become. But when we care deeply about others, when we share joy and help someone feel less alone, our own hearts begin to shine. Look at a mother bird feeding her chicks. She does not ask for anything. She gives. And in that giving, there's no sadness. Only natural joy. The Buddha saw this. He lived this. That's why he said, hatred does not cease by hatred. It ceases by love. This is an eternal law. One might ask, how can I love someone who has hurt me? And this is a fair question. We don't need to like every action or allow harm. But we can understand. We can say, this person is suffering too. That's why they cause suffering. Understanding removes the poison of hatred. It replaces it with clarity. Compassion is not just feeling sorry. It is seeing the suffering of another and wishing to relieve it. Sometimes that means offering food or shelter. Sometimes it means listening. Sometimes it means walking away in peace with no revenge in your heart. There is a story from the Buddha's life. One day, a man came and insulted him. He shouted angrily, trying to provoke him. But the Buddha just smiled. Later, his disciple asked, Master, why didn't you respond to that man's anger? The Buddha replied, if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The disciple said, to the one who offered it. Exactly, said the Buddha. In the same way, if someone offers anger and I do not accept it, it still belongs to them. That is compassion with wisdom. It does not mean letting people hurt you again and again. It means choosing not to carry their poison into your own heart. Can you feel how light you become when you stop carrying so many grudges? Can you feel how warm life feels when you allow your heart to be soft, not only for others, but also for yourself? Here is a small practice. Every night before sleep, close your eyes. Bring to mind 3 people. One you love, one you don't like, and one stranger. Say to each, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. No need to force feelings. Just say the words. Slowly, day by day, your heart will open like a flower touched by morning sun. And remember, dear one, compassion is not something you give to fix others. It is something you give because it frees you. A compassionate heart becomes a calm heart. A calm heart becomes a joyful heart. So if you truly want to stay happy in life, not just for a moment, but deeply, quietly, fully, then keep your heart open. When someone is sad, offer a kind word. When someone is angry, offer patience. When someone makes a mistake, offer understanding. And when you fall, as you surely will, because you are human, offer yourself a hand, not a fist. The path of compassion is not easy, but it is beautiful. It asks you to see others as part of you, not separate, not enemies, just fellow travelers, each carrying their own bundle of sorrow and hope. When you walk with compassion, you do not walk alone. Even in silence, your steps echo kindness. Even in pain, your heart glows gently. So today, as the Zen Master, I say this to you. Be soft but not weak. Be kind but not blind. Be open but not empty. In this way, happiness will no longer come and go. It will live with you, quietly, like a friend who never leaves. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath. Inhale peace. Exhale love. And whisper gently, may I be kind. May I be free. May I be happy. That is enough. That is the path. That is compassion. Unshakable joy. The final wisdom. Sit down, my friend. Breathe. Gently. Slowly. We have come a long way together. From the very first question you asked, why am I not happy? To now your mind has shifted. Your heart has softened. You have seen things from a new lens. And now we are here, at the end. But endings are just new beginnings in disguise. Today, I will not give you more lessons. No more concepts. No big ideas. Today, I will simply talk to you like an old friend. Heart to heart, human to human. From this calm place, let us discover the final teaching, unshakable joy. Let me ask you something very simple. Do you know how it feels to smile without a reason? Not because someone gave you a gift. Not because your life is perfect. Not because your problems are gone. But simply because you are alive. The kind of smile, soft, peaceful, and rooted deep in your being. That is unshakable joy. The Buddha taught that this joy is not born from wealth, status, or even comfort. It is born from wisdom. What kind of wisdom? The wisdom that says, everything changes. Nothing lasts. And that's okay. When you deeply accept this, something beautiful happens. You no longer fear the end of things. You no longer cry for what didn't last. You don't panic when life changes. Instead, you relax. You become light. You laugh at small things. You feel joy for a leaf falling from a tree or a child's laughter echoing on a quiet street. These are not small moments. These are everything. You see, joy that depends on anything, on people, events, or even your own mood, is always shaking. It can be taken away in one moment. But joy that rises from understanding, that joy is solid. It cannot be stolen. Let me tell you a small story. A Zen monk lived in a mountain hut. He had no money, no TV, no phone, no visitors. Just his wooden cup, a kettle, and the wind. A traveler once asked him, "Don't you get lonely? Don't you miss happiness?" The monk smiled and said, "No, I sip my tea slowly, and joy visits me often. It likes quiet places." This is what you must remember. Joy does not like loud, chasing minds. It comes when you sit still. It arrives when you expect nothing. It stays when you ask for nothing. So many people chase joy, like a butterfly. But what happens when you sit still? The butterfly may come and sit on your shoulder. Joy is like that. It comes when the heart is still. Buddhism is not a religion of belief. It is a path of practice. If you practice stillness, kindness, mindfulness, and deep looking, you will not have to try to be happy. Happiness will naturally rise in you, like the sun rises without your effort. You don't need a perfect life to be happy. You just need a peaceful mind. That peaceful mind is not built in one day. But every moment of awareness, every breath taken mindfully, every time you choose compassion over anger, you are building it, bit by bit. Now, think of your journey. Think of the times you were sad, the people who disappointed you, the dreams that didn't come true. Think of how much weight you carried. And now ask yourself, what if you put all that down? What if you just let go right now? Yes, your life may not be perfect, but your heart can still be free. Freedom is not outside. It is inside. Peace is not in another place. It is in your own breath. Joy is not something far. It is right here when you're fully present. The Zen Master once said, when you walk, just walk. When you sit, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. That's the path of unshakable joy. Simple, direct, peaceful. You don't need to force yourself to smile. Just remove what blocks your natural smile. Your fears, your anger, your past, your expectations. Let them go, one by one. Then happiness will not be something you search for. It will be what you are. You're not broken. You never were. You're just full of noise. And when the noise settles, you will see you are already enough. You're already home. As we end this journey together, I leave you with a final breath. Inhale, feel life. Exhale, feel peace. Smile, not because everything is perfect, but because you are alive, aware, and free. This is the final gift of the Buddhist path. Not just to be happy, but to be unshakably happy. And before you go, my dear listener, one final whisper from the heart of wisdom woven. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. If this journey touched you, even a little, please like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. It helps more than you know. It tells the world that peace is possible, that joy is real, and that wisdom still matters. We began with questions. We end with silence. Thank you. Keep walking gently. Joy is already walking with you.